Well, Maryland, by law, has to pass a balanced budget, a tall order with a $3 billion deficit. The lawmakers have to make cuts or pause spending, but they also have to raise revenue. The governor doesn't want to do that exclusively through tax hikes and fees, pushing back on fellow Democrats. Mackenzie Frost from our sister station with more now on how he wants to cut red tape to bring businesses back to Maryland.
Governor Wes Moore continues to stand by the budget as negotiations continue, now over in the Senate. The governor wanted to cut the corporate tax rate, but that's been stripped from the plan moving forward.
I'm a very pro-business leader. I believe that we've got to make sure that we're making Maryland more competitive and more economically competitive, and I think that a corporate tax rate cut is a part of the larger solution that we're pulling together.
If it's pro-growth, how come there are so many taxes included in the budget, including a tax on data and IT services?
Well, I think that the political talking points about the things that make it not pro-growth, I just don't think that they stand.
The taxes stretch beyond data and IT services. The House's version includes tax hikes on the vehicle excise tax, short-term rental cars, cannabis, sports betting, plus several other fee increases. Governor Moore says he maintains his mission this session.
The larger guidance that I've had throughout the entire session was we have got to make sure that we are growing the economy, but we are not going to do it on the backs of middle class and working families.
If you want to help middle class Marylanders, why does this budget plan right now have more than $1 billion in new taxes?
What this budget plan right now has is 94% of Maryland families are about to either get a tax cut or see no change in their taxes at all.
The budget battle in Annapolis stretches beyond the details in the current plan. At the end of 2022, former Governor Larry Hogan prepared to leave office and offered a warning.
It would be a mistake for the legislature to use its newly expanded budgetary power to return to the old habits of raiding the rainy day fund or recklessly spending down the surplus.
Despite writing in this 2023 letter stating, "We are in a fortunate financial position," Governor Moore says the $5 million budget surplus wasn't real. I know that a lot of people say that it wasn't a real surplus, that it wasn't a real surplus. A federal,
It wasn't a real surplus.
Sugar high of cash.
It wasn't a real surplus. It wasn't a real surplus.
But where did it go?
When you have a one-time infusion of federal cash, that is not a structural surplus. That's not math. It's politics. But it's not math. It's dark money gaslighting.
He says the state was flush with federal COVID-era cash.
It allowed Maryland to say we're not going to deal with the structural issue.
But some of that money was spent.
We put it towards first fixing things like Charlotte Hall and all these other things that when we walked in on day one, we realized how many problems that we now had to immediately fix because I was not going to allow our military veterans that were living in the state of Maryland to be living in one of the worst veterans homes in the country.
Governor Moore says the state's deficit was projected since 2017. And to right the dire fiscal situation, he says structural changes need to be made. In Baltimore, Mackenzie Frost, 7 News.